And now, Hardcore Wrestling presents In the News with Bay Area MVP.
Oh, you told me we're on air already.
Well, you know what? We just hit the record button, so fuck it. Fuck it all.
Alright. Good afternoon, Hardcore Wrestling Radio fans all over the nation. This is Will, aka MVP the Bay, and today's HWR in the News segment has been brought to you today by Fuck It All, 1,000 milligrams to help you out with all your natural depressional modes, and by Pizza Hut, because just frankly, it ain't cheesy as it thinks. So, before we get to the news today, we gotta go and introduce the HWR crew first. You can find him not looking up Ron Burgundy videos on YouTube. He's the boss of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, but you can find him on his Facebook page or on Twitter. He is the boss, Rick Head. Rick, fuck you in that video.
Hey, I'm doing alright, but you know what? I gotta give kudos, and I want to give an additional thanks to Nikolai Volkov, the WWE Hall of Famer, for coming on with us last night and spending time with us and giving us one hell of a show last night. Thank you, Nikolai.
Yes, and too bad I wasn't there, folks, but I heard the interview is very interesting. And, of course, you can find him on YouTube.com, where he has a lot of things on there. Go on and subscribe. What are you lazy for? He's Lance Moss, the incomparable one. Lance, how was that interview in your mind?
Interesting.
One-word sentences says it all. All right, folks, we're going to go up and start with a little bit of controversy. No, folks, not Eric Bischoff. He's not the opening topic. It would have been funny, but that's not the case. We're going to talk about some former WWE stars alleging that there's racism within their company. And, of course, guys, we already know Del Rio was a target of alleged racism, before his release. And now we have a secondary person that's stepping up. I cannot pronounce his Spanish name right. I'm going to try Miss Dees. Well, the original Sin Cara, not Hunico, HWR fans. The original Sin Cara, has been making accusations of backstage racism, that people in the back would make racist comments, jokes, all spices of jokes, and it would come from all directions, even from the executives. And he was in an interview today for MedioTempo.com. For those who don't know Spanish, I'll pronounce that. That means halftime. That he was a subject to racist comments. He said the gringos, that means white people. So, at HWR, we don't condone racism, so let's just stop right there. That, most of the things could be racist, and the bosses would make racial remarks. And he went on to mention that
That wasn't me.
And I guess the crowds are not happy about that at all. And basically just to end it all, he says that basically that the way that things didn't work out for him in WWE after a while and the work environment wasn't good. But he did say to end his interview that he wouldn't mind working in the States again, just not with WWE, but a company that would not be hindered to racism. So, Rick, I'll go with you first. Del Rio and now the original Sin Cara. Is racism a problem in the WWE or in wrestling altogether? What do you think?
I think with the WWE, a lot of people have talked about racism and the problems within there, and I guess they would probably know more than us as fans. People like The Rock, who obviously had a great career in there, he's been great. And look at Alberto Del Rio. He was a world champ, a multi-time world champion. So, is he? I'm going to be honest. Is this sour grapes, or is this, is there some legitimacy in there? So, you got to wonder about that. There have been other past people who have been questions not only about racism. There's been also people who've claimed that there was sexual harassment, all kinds of things, and it's all in the eye of the beholder. And, I don't know. I would like to think not, because of such a big company that has so much money and has done a lot of things. But you know what? When you get behind that curtain, you really don't know what the fuck is going on. And that's the truth.
Good point. Lance, your overall thoughts on this?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was no shit. Because in the whole history of us, there's always been race-based stuff. Some people call it racism, some wouldn't. My question is, what in the world did Sin Cara really couldn't speak English?
Well, let's be honest. I mean, when he came into the WWE, let's face fact, he knew the stuff that was going to be around him. His environment was going to completely change. And, to say this now is kind of late, Lance, don't you think?
True. And the reason I brought up the whole language thing, okay, if you don't speak a language, how the hell would you know if any racist things were being said about you?
Okay, so in your mind, you basically think that was Mystique, I'm about to just say his name that way, did you think that he blew this out of proportion? Did he know what he's getting himself into, or was he just a target? Because remember, there's going to be a lot of speculation.
I say a little bit of all three.
Yeah, and again, if I could interject, you got to remember one thing also with Sin Cara, the original Sin Cara, he was very injury prone. Triple H is the one who brought him in. He was the one who thought that he was going to be the next big thing. And let's be honest, guys, he did kind of flop. He didn't really measure up to par. And, I mean, there was times when he was getting injury for his pinky.
Yeah.
If you guys remember that a couple of months back.
We've seen Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah,
I believe.
Exactly. So let's not, we can't shake that stick a little too hard. And I know that a lot of people in the industry, wrestling industry, and wrestling fans who want to say, want to believe them. And I don't want to say that it's not happening because it's very, we're on a very thin line here.
Yeah.
So there is a question of it. But the fact that was Sin Cara, was there other reasons for them getting rid of Sin Cara? I have to say, guess what? There was a good reason for him to get lost.
Yeah, and another thing about Sin Cara that I've heard, some of the guys in the back would give Sin Cara so much shit because they were kind of protective of Mysterio.
Yeah.
And they saying, this guy's trying to take Ray's spot. Oh, hell no.
All right, and I guess I will have to say a little bit of something before we go to the next topic. Me being the only HWR person of Hispanic and Latin blood here, I'm just going to say this. Rick, you do have a good point. He was up to par. He was the next best thing. When he debuted, he came out of nowhere and beat Sheamus when he was a heel at the time. And Lance, you did make a good point, that basically they were being protective of Ray, and yeah. But there's one thing you both forgot to mention. When they decided to tag him and Rey Mysterio up, this was about, I'm going to say close to 2 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I remember watching that match, and I heard a little bit of Spanish saying from Rey to Sin Cara, and I could translate this. This is time for you to shine now that I'm your partner. I remember that well. So I could say is, was Sin Cara or Mystique a target? Yeah. Was Del Rio a target? Possibly. I mean, Lance's favorite friend, Cody Barbieri, the one that started that incident, yeah, he was recently fired because I think WWE is trying to iron out the bad stuff within the company, but still, racism is still a bad thing in this country, fellas. And racism will never end. We just got bad people who have bad minds and thought, and it's sad that Mystique would say this now. Why did he wait so long? I kind of think he was a little bit too late on this.
Yeah,
I think he was. So with that said, if he comes back to the States, then yeah. But moving on to a little bit of SmackDown, fellas. They have confirmed that now they're going back to Thursday nights, which will start next year, January 15th. And basically, the executive vice president of Sci-Fi, Michael Engelman, stated, just quite simply, young men watch television on Thursday nights than on Friday nights. That's true. And, making WWE sizable and having a more passionate fan base still makes SmackDown number one on Sci-Fi. And over the past 15 years, it's already been recognized. It's been broadcast in more than 170 different venues in more than 148 cities and towns and all across, like here in our good US of A, Canada, UK, Iraq, Japan, Italy, Mexico, and all around the world. And we all know this was The Rock show. So Lance, I'll start with you. With SmackDown going back to its traditional Thursday nights, will the fan base grow in this?
Definitely, because honestly, I have not a damn thing to do on Thursday nights since a certain other 3 letters moved to Wednesday. Yeah, I'll watch. I know that for damn sure.
I'll go next. You know what? I like this move because not a lot of shows that are on Friday nights. TNA moving to Thursdays. But then, Lance, we forgot. If SmackDown moves to Thursdays, what will happen to NXT? Will they move to Fridays? Are they going to go to Tuesday nights? Because you can't have SmackDown and NXT at the same time unless WWE does some time arranging, don't you think?
Well, problem with that, them moving to Tuesdays. In main event Tuesdays?
Yeah, that means...
Maybe Wednesdays?
Yeah, because then if you have... Well, yeah, if you move NXT to Wednesdays, then it'll compete with TNA altogether.
Which they did that when TNA was on Thursday, so why not?
So now, SmackDown moves to Thursday, in which I think is a good move, and have NXT go to Wednesday nights to compete with TNA. I think NXT will blow TNA out of the water. Rating-wise, I'm sorry. This has got to be more funny than ever.
Wait, can I
counteract?
Counterpoint to that.
Go ahead.
The NXT, you have to be on the network to find it, correct?
Yeah, but I'm just saying for those who watch, NXT or TNA religiously.
True.
I mean, there's going to be people that are going to watch WWE religiously, and then there's those that think that Vince McMahon's a prick. I hate to say that live, but hey, fans are going to say what they want. Here on HWR, we don't have a filter. We have always been there. And then there's people that are going to watch TNA. So NXT versus TNA on Wednesday nights, I would love to see the ratings war. And if Rick is back with us...
yeah.
Question is, SmackDown moving to Thursday nights, is this good?
And you know what? I really don't see the point. They've been talking about this for several weeks. At first, I thought it was going to be good for the whole purpose of screwing over TNA, but TNA's already moved. So, you know what? I really don't see the valid point in it. It's been Friday Night SmackDown for many, many years. It hasn't really, why they're trying to make that extra little money, who the hell knows? That's all I can really say.
Okay. Very well said. Yeah, and I'm just going to add one more line to it before we move on. I mean, I'm just going to say this right now. If NXT really does move to Wednesdays and bumps WWE main event to like a Friday or something like that, NXT will basically beat TNA out of the ratings because, it's business. I'll just say it just to be, I like both companies, don't get me wrong, but WWE is just superior right now. It's been well said. Next, we have a little bit of a new debut coming up, fellas. Yes, Kevin Steen's debut. According to Lance's triple cousin, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, reports that Kevin Steen will be making his NXT debut soon under the ring name Kevin Owens, which is a tribute to his son and his namesake Owen Hart. Props to Kevin Steen for that. And according to Lance's cousin, he did a workout in front of Triple H, which went very good, and is expected to debut in the WWE at the next takeover, which is next month, or the next set of tapings. And I'm going to go first on this one. Kevin Steen did an interview saying that he would work with WWE sometime down the future. He did state also that wrestling with Ring of Honor was a good experience, but his dream was always to come to WWE. And guess what? He's finally reached it. Good for him. And now for Kevin Owens to give a tribute to the late Owen Hart, he's earned my respect for that. And for him to work his ass off as he did, you know what? Let's see. He did the workout with Triple H, and he was in a picture with Hideo Itami, a.k.a. Kenta, and Prince Devitt, a.k.a. Finn Balor, and it looks very promising. So I will expect good things for Kevin Steen coming in, and I want to see how he performs in the WWE environment and the ring. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll buy it for right now until something else kind of drops, but I'll buy it. Rick, what do you think?
Well, I would definitely like to see Kevin Steen and what he can do for the WWE. As far as when it's going to really happen, it could be another year, it could be another month. It really all depends when the WWE feels that he's ready to, to make that jump, and it's just really a matter of time. So we can only see. I am really interested to see Kevin Steen. So time will tell.
Time will tell. It's just basically it. To make these debuts, you need time, because that's how you develop well. Lance.
Well, definitely. First, he needs to make a huge splash in NXT, which there are a few guys in there that he's had damn near independent classics with, one being Sami Zayn. You bring all them guys up, the revolution will, or the new generation will blow everything from this generation away.
Okay, very well point. And I'll just say one more thing too. So far WWE has teeny bits, and I'm going to say teeny bits with a grain of salt, dropped the ball right now with Kenta. I mean, who would have thought his debut would have to be the former NXT Tag Team Champions of Rick Victor and Conor Bryan, the Ascension? I think they're testing his abilities right now as we speak. I could be wrong, but tonight is supposed to be a debut of one of Kenta, a.k.a. Hideo Itami's friends, to help him face the Ascension. Just watch, folks. NXT will be on tonight on the network. For how much, fellas?
$9.99.
$9.99. And finally, a little bit of TNA, folks. You know HWR will not do a segment without bringing up TNA. And for those who don't watch TNA religiously, it's okay too. Well, they finally got around to finalizing that new television deal, and I wish our HWR brother, Joseph Knight, is here, because he would have loved this one, Rick Alance. He would have loved to talk about this one.
Yeah.
Apparently, Executive Vice President John Gabrick was in New York last night. F4W Online reports that he was in New York to finalize a deal with Impact Wrestling. It's still unknown who they end up with. Less do we think. Okay, Gabrick? Okay? Although the rumor is they'll stay with Spike TV for a lot less money they're bringing in. But reports are saying, as usual, writing stories for when they come up to January. I'm going to go first. I'm going to make this short and fast, fellas. John Gabrick. I don't know if you listen to Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Stay with Spike TV. They've done your shows for how long? Over 10 years? If you move right now, which new fan base you're going to get from WGN or that Discovery Channel, Velocity, whatever the hell, you better off staying on Spike. Take the less deal. Right now, your marketing is not there right now. I'm going to be honest. Your marketing has not size valued yet. You haven't found the right correspondence to basically try to get a high-end deal. And as far as Dixie Carter goes, and I wish the son of a bitch Annie was also here too when I mentioned Dixie Carter. She couldn't bring a deal upon her damn duffel bags or women bags, whatever. Bottom line is, you're lucky Spike TV is even taking this deal. If you would have moved anywhere else, you would have been fucked. You would have been fucked so bad, you guys would have been on closed circuit TV. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Rick, go.
Well, as far as their TV deals with Spike and them trying to make a lower deal, some would say it's a great deal, some it's a bad deal. The problem is right now, anywhere they go, it's pretty much they're fucked, because it's just showing that they're getting weaker and weaker by the day goes by. So, WWE a long time ago had this problem with USA. If you remember that they were having problems with USA, and they decided to go off to TNN for a while. And of course, WWE is a bigger, different company. They went off for a while, and then USA said, "Shit, we left, and yeah, now you know what? Now we want you back. Come on back. Come on back." I don't think this obviously won't happen with Spike, but the real question is it going to make them more money? To make them more money to leave to another company, which is going to give them a bigger deal, where they'll have more exposure, or they can possibly even go to a live show, or do they just duck their head and take it? And that's really, you really got to figure out what you want to do, and that's where you got to decide. Say, no, we're not going to duck our heads, or it's hard. That's a really tough call. Yeah, in times you do want to wish Joe was here, because he would, as a promoter, he would know what that call is. I mean, he hates TNA, so he'd probably say, yeah, just stick with TNA, stick with Spike. But that's it's a tomato call in my case. So
Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Hey, just say the cookie crumbles and you got me. Lance, what do you think about this deal?
Well, if it is, a few things I need to do. One, since it's for less money, off the road, or a few spot shows a year, but have a singular place where you can do most of your weekly stuff to save money, because we all know they're leaking money like a damn sieve. And two, in these one night only things, because again, one, they're not sticking with the storylines, they're just one night things, which, hey, who's this? And whoop, they ain't even on the TV the next week. What's up with that? It don't work. But yeah, like Rick said, basically they need Spike, because ain't nobody else gonna take them, basically.
All right. Now that I think, Lance, you have an extra story to tell us.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Lance, I think you have an extra article to tell us.
Well, it's just a little rumor that I heard on a few they're 99% reliable Facebook pages. This is from behind the scenes news on Facebook. Apparently, there's a rumor going around the reason the Authority might lose the power situation that was put in place this past Monday by Vincent McMahon was to help write Stephanie off because, well, she's pregnant.
Oh, so all this time we thought AJ was pregnant and now it's alluding to Stephanie? Oh, jeez. Well, is that it, Lance?
That's it.
Well, let me go first, because now that I'm hearing about this, if they were to set up the Authority to lose, and wasn't it just a small coincidence why Vince McMahon added that stipulation? I mean, Vince McMahon's on TV character is who Vince McMahon really is. As far as this angle goes, yeah, it most likely Team Cena is going to win. I mean, you did mention to us before we came on the air that she looked a little bit on the other side of the fence, but on Raw, I couldn't really tell. I mean, you know how Triple H comes with his $1,000 suits and Stephanie McMahon wear $500, $1,000 dresses. Whenever she comes, you know what? If she is pregnant, and the way that it's been said, yeah, Cena automatically wins, because if she is legitimately pregnant, then there's not much going to Survivor Series, I guess. Rick, I'll give you the floor.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if she is pregnant, and whoever found out this information, they've got some really good inside, information, because I've looked on several different news pages, and I've yet to find anything that says that she's pregnant. So, if she is, kudos to them, but I have yet to read anything about it. So, either I'm just reading the wrong places, which I highly doubt, or that rumor is bullshit. So, you know what? You guys figure that one out, but I'm going to lean towards the latter. That's just me.
I'm going to lean to a pool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Lance, for bringing that up. I mean, hey, let's watch Survivor Series and find out. And with that, folks, this is going to end HWR in the news. So what we'd like to know from you guys is, what do you think about the racism in WWE? Was Del Rio Mystique right about it? You know, what are your thoughts about SmackDown moving to Thursday nights, back to its original day from back in 2001? Kevin Steen finally getting his WWE debut next month. Give us your thoughts. And TNA's going to finally have that deal. You know, is Spike right for taking the low ball? And what Lance Moss told us, will the Authority supposedly lose? Is Stephanie's being pregnant legitimate? Leave your comments in the comment section below. You can find us on SoundCloud. Well, my page on SoundCloud. That's www.soundcloud.com/HardcoreWrestlingRadio. Rick, tell the fans where they can find us at, and our page and all that good stuff.
Well, of course, they can always find our Facebook page at facebook.com/HardcoreWrestlingRadio. And if you want to find us anywhere else on the internet, well, whether it's right here on the SoundCloud, whether it's on YouTube, or on Daily Motion, just look for that one word, HWR Show.
All right, Lance, tell the fans we can find you at YouTube, and what do you do?
You can find me at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, a bunch of musical equipment reviews, and some rants whenever I feel like them. And, yeah, that's about it. If you hadn't subscribed, why hadn't you?
Move your big asses to YouTube and subscribe to his channel. And, of course, I'll plug it in one more time. You can find me Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays in the afternoons on SoundCloud.com/HardcoreWrestlingRadio, where I give you guys all my in the news articles and more up-to-date articles. Just tune in, And, special shout out to Joseph Knight, the CWA. How you doing, buddy? And we have to sponsor this one more time before we go off the air, folks. Thanks to the son of a bitch Andy, Hardcore Wrestling Radio is sponsored by what pill, guys? Fuck it all. 1,000 fucking milligrams. It'll turn that headache upside down.
Corrected.
Don't take over 3. Bad for your health. So for the boss Rick, the incomparable one Lance, this is Will saying, I need some fuck it all. After all that's going on, we need Andy to give us some prescriptions. What do you guys think? We need some fuck it all.
Yes.
As Rick is trying to find some pills online for it. So this is Will saying, be sure to tune in next time here on Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the News. Be sure to check us out over at Facebook.com/HardcoreWrestlingRadio, and also be sure to follow us over at DailyMotion.com/HWR Show. And now, check us out at our new location, SoundCloud.com/HardcoreWrestlingRadio. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.